This is a story of how I began to lose my sight. Now, I have posted this video on my TikTok page, so instead of redoing it, I just download it, and I'm basically doing this intro for the video. And I'm asking you guys, please, if you can share the video, leave a like on the video, and if you haven't subscribed as yet, please to subscribe to the channel, and of course, just listen the story to the end. Alright, thank you very much. This is how I began to lose my sight. Hey everyone, I'm Shane. It all started in late 2016. I started to develop this redness in my eye. I started going to the clinic in the Red Hills area because I was living in the Kingston 20 area at the time. When I started going to the Red Hills clinic, I saw a ophthalmologist. She prescribed some drops to me and stuff like that. When I started using those drops, it didn't clear it up. So I went back, and she didn't understand what was really going on. So she referred me to a hospital in the Kingston area, which was the UWI. When I started going there, I went and they checked out my eye. They prescribed some drops for me. The first drop I started using was the Predforte. I started using the Psychopentolate also. The Predforte, it's an antibiotic drop, and the Psychopentolate, basically it's a eye drop to dilate the pupil. I started using those drops, thought it was actually gonna clear it up. Start going back up to the UE again, to the ophthalmologist. When they start running some checks, they said that I was supposed to do a blood test. So what happened now, when I was supposed to do the blood test, I couldn't come up with the fund at the time to do the blood test, so I started going to another clinic at the time, But before I started going to that clinic, I remember the ophthalmologist told me that he see signs of me developing something that's called a mutton fat. It's not mutton that you eat, it's basically a eye condition. So as I said, with the blood test and stuff like that, I wanted some quicker results and stuff. So you know what, I said, let me go over to Garden Town in Papine. They have another eye clinic that's called the Fish Eye Clinic. This is in Jamaica. Okay guys, starting going there. When I started going there, the doctor, I checked out my eyes, he said, this condition look a little bit, rare, different. So he prescribed the same eye drops to me. He also prescribed an ointment for me to use in my eye at night when I'm going to sleep. And start using these eye drops, start going back there. He said he see signs of me developing cataract, because at this time now, they didn't understand what eye condition it was or the name. So he was doing his test, as in his check, while I was, using the drops and stuff like that at home. Started going back. I remember one time I went there and I got an injection in my eye. The name of the injection is called Avastin. And the Avastin was to slow down the inflammation in the eye. So this time now, guys, I was both balancing my job and also going to the ophthalmologist, right? I remember the doctor told me now that he was gonna open his new location on Lady Musgrave Road. So starting going there now, he said he was gonna schedule me to do surgery, and this was gonna be my first surgery. So they scheduled me to do a cataract removal. Yes guys, because basically what happened is the panuveitis. Now I was diagnosed with panuveitis. So the panuveitis, and what is panuveitis? Panuveitis is a autoimmune condition that can cause blindness or severe eye complications. So at this time he wanted me to do surgery, but because of the inflammation in the eye, because the panuveitis it produces inflammatory cells. So I could not do the surgery as yet until my eye was stable. So sorry guys. So my doctor, he referred me back to the UWI, to the rheumatology clinic. So when I started going to the rheumatology clinic, they prescribed some medication for me. They prescribed the methotrexate, they prescribed the folic acid, and they prescribed the prednisone. And the reason for these was to, as I said, to stabilize what was going on in the eye. And during this period also, I did a blood test. I did 4 blood tests. I did a major one that's called TORP. That one was to check my entire body for any underlying condition, which everything came back negative. There was no underlying condition, no other form of illnesses. So with the prednisone now, taking the prednisone, guys, I was also scared because, you know, the prednisone, it can actually cause, I think, liver or kidney damage. You know what I mean? So what is prednisone? What should I say now? The prednisone is to reduce inflammation anywhere in the body. So what they did, they started me out on the 60 milligrams, 40 milligrams, 30 milligrams, 20 milligrams. Then I think it was 10, because the prednisone is a tablet where you can't just come off of it like that because it can mess up your immune system. That's how strong it is. So as I said, I went, they also checked me for sarcoidosis, which that came back negative. They checked my calcium levels, that came back negative, no problem there. So I was now scheduled to do the cataract removal. The first surgery I did a cataract removal on my right eye. When they removed the cataract, there was so many inflammatory tissues in my eye. They had to do a vitrectomy. And what is a vitrectomy? They went in the eye, they make a small incision at the end, at the corner of the eye, and they went in and they removed some of the tissues. So when they removed the tissues and stuff like that, it didn't came back, you know, to how severe and to how long I was having this condition. Because as I said, they could not remove the cataract until they got old. You know what I mean? And as I said, guys, I never have no complications or anything. And cataract take, like, you know, a period of years to build up in a person's eye. And believe me, the cataract in my eye, it take like no time to build up. Anyways, at this point, you know, during this time, guys, I was like totally blind. You know, I went totally blind in like within like 2016 started. By 2017, 2017 somewhere there, I went completely blind, guys. Couldn't see nothing at all. You know what I mean? And I remember now where I was scheduled to do another surgery, and this on my left eye. This was in 2017, and leading up to all of this, guys, before the whole surgery and thing, which I should actually tell you guys, I actually lost my job. You know, stick up in right there. I actually lost my job because I was stopping to go to the ophthalmologist so often. You know, I remember I used to work on the computer. One day I was at work, and for those who know about computers and know if you use the, you know, computer well, you know, you can actually put the cursor into a different characters. So I actually put it into the magnifier glass. So I started adjusting the magnifier glass from like 25% right up to 50%. And normally the reason for that, when you hover the mouse over the words and stuff like that, it, you know, bring up the words bigger. You know what I mean? And I remember I left that on the computer, and the boss was like, "What is this thing?" He called me. You know, he was like, "What's this thing on the computer? I see this thing, like some of the words are so big." And you know, I explained to him that, you know, I have a little condition in my eye and, you know, stuff like that. Because as I said, guys, I didn't want to lose my job at the time, you know, because I have to make sure I, you know, take care of my family and stuff like that. You get me? So anyways, at this point, I lost my job. While I was actually, before I did the surgery, I lost my job. And, you know, I remember I was home, you know what I mean, couldn't find food, stuff like that. You know, I remember I was in the bathroom breaking down. I called my little sister. When I called my little sister, I called my mom. My little sister answered the phone, and I tell her that, you know, tell mom that, you know, I'm coming over to, you know, Spain, Spanish Town. For those who know Spanish Town, big up Spain Town. You know what I mean? When I went over, explain to my mom, tell her what's going on. And this time now, me and my mom, we started going to the clinic. You know what I mean? So when I was scheduled to do the surgery and stuff like that, she was present. You know what I mean? So as I said, I did a surgery on this eye. When I did the surgery on my left eye, I had cornea sclerosis, and the reason for the cornea sclerosis is because I had the panuveitis, and the severity, it caused my eye to develop cornea sclerosis. So I couldn't see through my cornea. So at this point now, my ophthalmologist is scheduled a appointment for me to see a cornea specialist. When I went and I saw the cornea specialist, he asked me a few questions. I remember when I went in the room, he had the light and he was, shining it all over my eye and stuff like that. He asked me if I could see any form of light, which I told him yes. So he said, okay, then once you can see any form of light, I'm gonna go ahead and schedule you for a surgery, but I'm gonna dialogue with your ophthalmologist first and see what's what. And I said, okay. I remember now, I went home, was at home for a while. I remember I got a call that I was coming for a appointment. When I went in and to see my ophthalmologist, he told me that, they are gonna do the surgery, and the cost of the surgery was actually 1.5 mil Jamaican. So in my mind, I was like, 1.5 mil. How am I gonna come up with that now? But at the time, I had a friend of mine, which she created a GoFundMe for me. And that GoFundMe, I was actually sharing it around, but actually it wasn't getting as much donation at the time. So I used to watch this program. Well, I used to watch this YouTuber, Jonathan. Big up yourself, I was a big up. When I used to watch her program, she normally, just all type of stories normally share on her thing. So I got her number and I remember I called her and I speak with her and Uncle Ray. You know what I mean? Because it was two of them. It was both male and female normally do the program. So she said, okay then, explain my story. Tell her I said I have a surgery to do, and if I could share my story on our program. She said, sure, you can come and tell your story and thing. So she tell me a date to come over there and thing. So I made an arrangement with a taxi driver to pick me up. I remember the night I was calling him to confirm that, if he's still gonna pick me up and thing like that, which I wasn't getting him. So I said, you know what, I'm not gonna go anywhere, So my mom said, no man, let your sister follow you, go up the avenue and see if you see anybody and thing. When I went up there, I saw one of my in-law, big up yourself, Jero. When I saw my in-law and thing, I said to him, so, I go across such place to do an interview. He said, interview? Them time of night? I said, yeah, man, I have a surgery to do. And, I go on a YouTube channel and go share my story. He said, okay then. He said, make sure, where I go, everything's safe and things. So, yeah, man, So, he dropped me to a point and, I think, Ray, Jonathan, one of them came and meet me. And I went over by Jenna house. You know what I mean? Big up yourself, Miss Peggy. Big up yourself, Maldine. You know what I mean? When I went over there, my dialogue with our families them a little bit. And I guess one of our brother have a similar, well, not similar, but he have an eye condition too. So it was time for do the program now, which I went on and shared my story. And within like a week, I raised I raised over $1 million and more to get the surgery done. So this time now, I end up paying for the surgery. I was scheduled now to do surgery. Yes, guys, the light, me a fair focus on the light, so it kind of bright in my eyes. So if you guys see me squinting and stuff here, the light in my eye is really bright. So at this time now, I pay for the surgery, and they scheduled me for surgery now I think it was in April. When I went in for surgery, the day they say, look here, surgery is not gonna be done today because XYZ. So they scheduled me back again for March 9th. You know what I mean? But when I was supposed to come back home, I said to the doctor, I said, Doc, I'm gonna ask you to do a little update or something because everybody was expecting me to do the surgery today. So, you know what I mean? I don't want to disappoint anybody. Sorry, guys. I don't want to disappoint anybody. So, I did a little update and, update everybody. So, leading up to March now, I remember I went in the morning for my surgery. When we keep on that bed, so hold on. And I guess, guys, and I guess. I went in for surgery, and I remember I went in, I did a consent form, my mom, she read out whatever to me and she signed the consent form, and I remember I went round to the surgery room. When I went into the room, they take off my garments. I was left in my marina, my boxers. You understand me? They put on a gown. Just telling you guys everything that took place. A gown and stuff like that. There were actually 3 of us to the surgery. I was the second one that went in. When I went in the surgery room, I remember the person that administered the thing that put you to sleep. The anesthesiologist, yes, that word always leave my head. But the anesthesiologist, she stick on some stuff on my chest and thing, and she told me that she's gonna insert an IV into my hand so she can administer the dosage or whatever she was gonna do. So she put on the thing over my hand, tell me to keep on squeezing. She insert the IV. Yeah, so I'm gonna feel some pain. Men, I'm afraid of needles and thing already. So hold up, man, I said, push it in. She said, don't tense up. She said, just relax, take a deep breath, and she actually did it. At this point now, she said she's gonna put the medication in my system. So I'm gonna feel something like running in my hand. So I remember when she hold up my hand and I feel, yes guys, I feel this thing just taking time, like something crawling inside my vein coming up. And after that, I remember nothing. You know what I mean? I remember she was rubbing my hand also, like she was massaging my hand too, Yeah, again, I remember nothing from that. What I remember when I wake up and I said, didn't I do the, I was like, did I do the surgery as yet? She said, the surgery is done. So she said, don't get up. She said, don't move. She said, just relax. Because I was still under the anesthesia. So she take my hand and she put it on my face and she said, feel your face. When I feel it, I feel the patch on my face. So she tell me to just relax a little bit until, I kind of recuperate. So, my family, mom, sister, come round and thing, and, we went home, because I didn't stay at the facility after the surgery. I went home, and I think probably like about a day or two, I came back for a post-op after the cornea transplant. When I came back, I remember the doctor, he take off the patch off my face. When he take off the patch off my face, because they have to clean up the eye, and, he put me on the stethoscope, and he told me to look left, to look right. Guys, my eyes could hardly open. I was like, but anyways, he looked and, he said the cornea was, insert very well. And he tell me that I must make sure I administer the drops when I'm home. And I think I was supposed to come back probably like in a week. Yes, I think in a week. So I was at home now using the drops and stuff like that, using the drops. I remember now the first time, when I take off. No. Yes. I came back before, yes guys, I remember before the week, I think I came back like about 2 times, I think about 2 to 3 times, yes, I had post-op in that week because of the condition. Because I remember One day I went back for a checkup, and when they removed the patch, I saw someone walk past. When I saw the person walk past, I was like, Doc, did someone just walk past in a jeans and a white gown? He said, yes, you saw that? I said, yes, sir. He said, that's my wife, that's my wife. Everybody started to get excited now in the place, and, he was like, don't strain your eye, just relax. He said he's gonna get better by, days to come, he's gonna start clear up. You know what I mean? So he said, that's good, that's really good sign. So, I said, I know I came back another time after. But this time when I was coming back, guys, this is where, my, what should I say, this moment in my life was one of the best moments in my life, guys. I remember the night when I was supposed to, I was preparing to come for follow-up the other day, and I remember I take off the patch the night to clean up my eyes and thing. And I say, let me test my eyes, because I had my eyes closed all the time. I don't open my eyes none at all, guys. You know what I mean? Because I had to keep on the shield and they tape it down, so I always just keep my eye closed. Because they said don't make no light, no dust, nothing supposed to catch your eye. So the night before, I remember, as I said, I take off the patch and I open my eyes. When I open my eyes, I said, Mommy, come and look on your face. Guys, when I saw my mom's face after 2.5 years, trust me, you would understand that feeling. You know what I mean? You would understand the feeling, guys. And she started getting excited till she started crying. You know what I mean? She started crying, and she said, oh my God, put on the patch. And the morning when I was actually going back to the doctor, guys, for the first in like 2.5 years, I was walking up the step, guys, up the stairs. You understand what I mean? To the doctor office. Listen, when I went in the doctor office, it was pure excitement. Everybody was so joyful. Like, guys, trust me, I can tell you, say your sight, believe me, one of the most beautiful things. You understand what I mean? But always have faith in everything you do. So after the surgery, guys, I got back like about 15% of my vision. Okay? Until after a while now, the cornea, I did the surgery in 2019, guys. So after a while now, because I did the cornea transplant, I'm gonna come closer so you guys can actually see what's going on. After I do the cornea transplant, guys, there is some blood vessels that start forming around the cornea. And because I didn't do a tissue replacement, it cannot reject the cornea. So if I had done the tissue replacement, my immune system would have rejected. Basically, it would have saw whatever in my eye as a threat or a foreign matter, meaning it don't belong inside there. So that's why they did the cornea transplant, which is called a K-Pro. It's artificial cornea that was made at the Boston Medical in Massachusetts. You know what I mean? So, as I said, there's a thing right now that's actually around or in the eye that's called a prosthesis, which is a membrane that need to be removed. So right now it caused my vision to be like really blurry. You know what I mean? So right now I have like I would say like probably like about 5% somewhere vision. You know what I mean? But just sharing my story for those who always been asking. I try to make the story as short as possible, right to the point. You know what I mean? But now and then you might catch me live, talking more about this story. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope I answer all your questions, and if it's the first time coming across my page, thank you for the support. Okay guys, God bless you all.